life before I even met her. She's an actress, an artist. I know because I've stayed in her studio. That's not the spare bedroom, it is the studio. And a writer who doesn't take to the stage very often, but when she does, she takes you places. Meg Dunn.
Yeah, as Karen said, I don't perform too much these days, so let's hope this all goes well.
You're special.
High above this world, this century peers, curious to witness this time, this place, curious to witness in this time the nature of the progress of man, curious to witness the progress of nature, tiny sprouting seeds, brave and new, spindly ideas taking deep root, while the lava flows of concrete warp brave new stems, curious to witness in the population once held beliefs warped beyond belief, curious to witness half-made boys become men, cracking seed cases of innocence to force their way through concrete, curious to witness half-made girls become women, precarious in the many-branched tree. The view is dangerous. Yeah, the view is dangerous. So it's curious to witness on this very night a glowing girl jump down from her branch. Yeah, the view is dangerous. But she's brave. She's brave. It's going to be a long, hot summer, kid. I can hear there is no water. Hot leaves are crisping off the dying trees. Crocodiles are piping pump the desert into reality. I'm floating stolen water. Gallons of human disregard. Fires at the door, and I'm standing at the open fridge making a long decision. Turn up the aircon. Fan me. Drive me to the multiplex, where there are peddlers at the traffic lights making a not-so-pretty penny for their efforts at cleaning the windscreens of a nation. What do you want to look at anyway, stuck in your own personal fishbowl, flooding carbon monoxide across the gaming state, where you can multiply the number of spokesmodels by the drought-affected farmers, add the number of ATMs multiplied by the CEOs, who will take away the number you first thought of. Keep waltzing with Bert or Eddie or Rove. They're free to air and becoming as functional as a breath of it. Watch it, kids, you're stuck on the screen, and it's Groundhog Day on every TV guide in easy reach. Do you wonder where your super goes? Hope there'll be a pension. The days of industrial accidents are over, no 50-grand payouts on a toe these days. That's not an orange dancing in your soft drink. They're bulldozed into bulldust foreign trade agreements, the balance of payments tilting just a little less than Atlantis, sliding into the sludge of history. And historic army battles leave a midden heap of footage to ignore. Interest rates remain low, and the football-playing heroes are going for broke. We had a ball at Gallipoli this year, running with our beers and our Batman cape flags, felt exhilarated when the Super Hornet screamed overhead louder than a Grand Prix. Fuck, I love this country, mate! So when the khaki boys and girls stopped us outside Coles, it seemed the right thing to do, and we enlisted. We pushed at the gates and went around, like trying to board across into Timor, Tripoli, Tijuana, Bathurst, border town, somewhere, anywhere. It's an experience, very hot, and we're looking for a Corona, the kind with lime in the neck. But the only Corona is the dry, dry heat reflected round your head. Feels like tequila down my throat, the rasp of a camel, the hot, hot heat beating us into a submission of sorts. We cut cotton all day in the clouds like massed sheep. I wanted to kiss something real wet, but all the lips were taken. The strippers made you pay for their lack of enthusiasm, and the drinking age has been raised beyond my experience. I'm a bit lost and you called me a tourist. I'm here for the duration, that's all she wrote, birching into sick mariachi owing to disorientation. Summer in the nation of enlistment ain't all it's cracked. You seem to be marching into AWOL, and the dreams of shepherds have sold the farm that wants to return to the bush. But spring has parched and dried the pools into mud, where the cattle can't find purchase till the stock auctions, and the wildflowers make no difference. The pills have dehydrated my friends. We're always wondering about leave. The crack makes us antsy. The enemy is yet unsighted. It's harder to salute anything but three kings playing on constant rotation in the mess. What life has claimed, let no one pull us under. Attention, raise your elbow, but the bars are across the border with the third world and the water. As she leaves the public bar, the wound, the conversation's flat-packed is flowing, racked with rhetoric drip-fed from some new world order, from the movie studio dungeons, CNN and Channel 9. She feels the blast of winter air, aware of ears, nose, fingertips. It trips her as she leaves. She half believes she hears some drum. A call to arms. She thinks she sees the long files come, marching to obey some lonely beat. Along the street, she sees the columns take their uniforms and smooth them to their bodies as a skin assured of winning some unholy war. They score against an enemy who is not we, produced before our very eyes on 24/7 TV, beaming out a hatred easily digested when your diet is a mainstream boredom. War, you're prepared to try it. Shaking her head to a downtown beat, she sees an old soldier marching the street, his one hand crowed on his drumstick tight, and he's feebly bashing out a message for the night. Frayed medals hang from his caved-in chest, and his funeral suit tells her that he's waiting to be blessed. So she takes one kiss from the chalice in her head and places it gently on his vexed, crumpled forehead. But there's nothing there. There's only air and the four winds of the square, and her wound keeps flowing. One more. Ooh, too much excitement. Okay, this one's called Crossing, and this is off a show that I did called Brave a few years ago. It's available on CD out in the foyer, should you wish to find out how the rest of it goes. But basically it's a show set in, if you're familiar with Melbourne, in the square. We've got Fed Square, the station, the pub, and the church, which I found four pretty iconic scenarios. So yeah, basically this girl arrives at dusk, spends the whole night in the square till dawn. This is about the middle. It's called Crossing. The rain makes fresh each point of view, sharpens focus as it leaves, reflections in the shiny puddles, fireworks and stars. Where to now her eyes are open, she sees the gallery's construction, hanging in the giant scale cranes. The yellow mauve and steely green, reflecting off the edifice, it takes her by surprise to find such softness in the artifice. She rises to explore the raw potential, but she's jammed up in the crossing, jammed up in the crossing. She's jammed up in the crossing, jammed up in the crossing, with 15 Malaysian students, 2 brave kisses, sweet-eyed lovers, dew-eyed doe, bliss-eyed buck. What do they know that keeps them safe? What do they know that keeps them sound? What do they know that keeps them here, attached to their surroundings? And what the party girls behind, swabbing the path with a bridal veil. What the whistling Romeos, eyeing fluffy targets. And what the mummers, boys behind suburban ropes of silence, what that tight-lipped woman who never listens wiping lipstick off her sleeve, and what that blistering high young guy, what will his twisted roots provide for him? Jammed up in the crossing, jammed up in the crossing, where the sidewalk footpaths white lights whirl with assholes selling silver fakes, recipes for cooking dope, sweatshop sweatshirt remnants perfume, a shadow in the neon stripes who flicks her with his headscarf, is a big gig shirt guy brother rapper with a crescent new moon smile. What does he know? What does he know? What keeps him spinning? And what does he call free? And those coming through the centre in a Chinatown posse, giddy with the strung-up ducks and red festoons, the girls in platform boots like Astro Girl cartoons, the blonded boys' bandanas and Adidas sprawl like someone scrawled graffiti all over this square's exit, and they spot her. She's no Lara Croft. She's jammed up in the crossing, jammed up in the crossing, jammed up in the crossing, where, oh, jammed up in the crossing, where the tinned karaoke calls baby it's you, and noodle, lobster, brandy, Alexander, wafts like teenage dealers out on dates with students paying out in gold to educate in business, buy a city, name it. What do they know that keeps them safe? What do they know that keeps them sound? What do they know that keeps them here, attached to what surrounds them? What do you know that keeps you safe? What do you know that keeps you sound? What do you know that keeps you here, attached to your surroundings? Thank you very much.